Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jersey, and today what we're going to be working on is the next build that's going to be in front of the greenhouse. I've been trying to decide between two ideas that I had. Either I'm going to build a bee farm, or I'm going to build a brew, the brewing area for some of the yellow water flower brew, the bottle brush brew, and the jelly brew. So the plan is I want to also build a riverbank, and in that riverbank it's gonna divide two sections that I want to build. So one is gonna be on the right, the other one's gonna be on the left. So on the right side, it's going to be either the bee farm or it's gonna be the brewing area for the kegs and all that. So right now what we're gonna be doing is I needed to decide how long I wanted the riverbank to be. So from the sidewalk all the way to the very end is 39 tiles, I believe, 39 or 40 the length. I made the water on the inside is gonna be 4 wide, and again you have the other, and then another 40, between 38 and 40, and that's gonna be like, and that's from the sidewalk all the way to the end. Originally, and I'm still trying to decide on this, if I want the water of the river to reach and connect the other river, or I just want it to be closed off. So I didn't close it all the way to the top, so I kind of left it open, and we'll see that in a moment once I start working on the water. So for this, I do have the dirt printer, as you guys can see, and I do recommend to have more than one now. I am slowly saving my money, gathering more resources, because I'm definitely gonna get a third one, because my future plans is to continue to do multi-levels on this island. So it's beneficial to have multiple dirt printers. So if that's something that you're still don't have, or you still want to work on, I do recommend to slowly progress and get more than once. This is kind of embarrassing right here. I actually passed out against a crocodile and kind of ruined my plans, because I went over there because I needed to start building some of the concrete fence that I'm gonna use. So here we are the next day, and I was like, hey, well, let me keep going with the dirt print. I still need to fill this area. But yes, I do recommend to slowly start working on to gather this amazing tool, and to slowly get 2, get 3, maybe 4. My goal is to have 4 of them, because I think if I have 4, the way that I'm using them, 3 for sure, and then 4 is it's gonna be like super extra. But sometimes when you're working in a big area, like right now on the riverbank, they kind of run out, and they take, like in Dinkum time, I believe it's 4 hours to recharge, and I believe that's like 20 minutes real time, or around there, 20 to 30 minutes. So it's a long time to wait if you're just waiting because you can't do anything else until you have the area raised up. So yeah, so here we are, we're still lifting this area up. So one of the other tools, so here we went ahead and I went ahead and just edited it out, so what you guys didn't have to see, because I went to the crafting area and I went ahead and grabbed my compactor, because that's something that we needed, so we can start on the middle bringing the floor down, so we slowly bring the water into here. And the compactor is also great too, because if you just doing it by shovel, it would have taken a long time. And so yeah, Other items that we're gonna need for this build so far, we're gonna need the more green hedges, the concrete fence. That's one, not the concrete and iron that I've been using in other areas, but just the plain concrete. We're also gonna be using the normal bush. We're gonna use pine trees, light posts, as well as benches, and also the gumwood fence, and the cobbles black stone path. And that's the other item so far, and we'll see that progression once all that starts appearing. So here we are clearing this middle section so I can finally slowly we can start bringing the water in. And as this is going on, I wanted to say thank you to Linda Harris. She went ahead and commented amazing comments in a lot of my greenhouse build video. They really motivated me to keep going, to keep pushing, and to keep being more creative. I love that she's going to be trying new things that she got inspired of, and she inspired me, and it seems like I inspire her. So it's a great feeling. So I want to say thank you to her for watching and supporting the channel. Okay, so right here we are finally bringing the water in. So at first I did mess up, and I'm gonna have to fill a whole row of water because I miscalculated and ended up being where this wall, it has to be up to create the riverbank. So we're gonna fill that up, and then we're gonna continue to clear. And riverbanks are very popular like on cities, so they're very once we finish building this, we're gonna put cement all around the area, and that's what's gonna make it really stand out. And we're gonna see the concrete and then the water, and then we're gonna plant trees around it. We're gonna put the light posts, and all of that is gonna create a more immersive feel and different levels and depth and all that. So here we had to clear 2 crocodiles so I can continue working in peace. But this time I didn't pass out, and I managed to do it well. And so yeah, but I closed it out because, like I said, I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to decide if I want to connect it all the way to this river, like it's connected to the mouth, and I kept going back and forth thinking. So I just went ahead for now and stopped the water one more past the riverbank. I didn't close it out just in case I've changed my mind. So that's gonna still be up to the next few builds, and see if I can decide, or as the build is progressing, maybe something will make me feel like, okay, yes, let's do this, let's close it out. If I'm being honest, I think I'm leaning towards maybe connecting it. I think that might be kind of interesting, and maybe it's connected to the river, and the river is bringing the water in, and maybe we do something inside there. But I still don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Like, it hasn't clicked 100%. So here we are. We're finally putting the concrete. And once I start putting the concrete, I can start seeing the vision progressing. And I was like, man, this is what I was envisioning. This is what I was imagining. It is working the way I want. So here we're doing a pattern. That way it's not just so much concrete, complete concrete. And since I don't have a different type of fence that I felt like it will go with it, at first I thought maybe I would do like the normal fencing type. I don't, I can't remember the name, but uh, it just didn't feel to go that route. And I like how green and concrete kind of look together. I like to the way it breaks it up. So I went ahead and I did one concrete, two hedges, one concrete, two hedges, one concrete, two hedges, and just match one side to the other. You guys can alternate it. You guys can do it all hedges. You guys can do it all concrete. You guys can do it. You guys can pick a whole different fence. Maybe you guys want your riverbank to be with another type of pathing. You may want to do it wood. You guys may want to do it with the brick. So yeah, I mean you guys can choose different ways to make it happen. But for me, I went ahead with more the realistic look, and I went with the concrete. And I do like how the green and the concrete kind of go together. And for me, that's the route that I decided to go to. So here, I was trying to decide if I wanted to leave it empty, like a viewing point, and slowly we're gonna go back to it. And I decided we're gonna plant some bushes, maybe a tree or two. That way it's not just empty, because I think we can see the river from different angles. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put bushes and all that. So I noticed that their printer finally are charged, or one of them was charged. So I went ahead and slowly keep filling. And then once I had to put them back to charge, then I'm going back to work on different areas. So here I went back and trying to find supplies that I had left over from the greenhouse build that we did. We got 4 parts for the greenhouse, and you guys can go back and watch them if you guys got any inspiration or ideas on how to build your greenhouse. So here I was trying to decide and to make a pattern. How do I want to place the bushes, and where do I want my trees to be? So I like to drop it first, so I can kind of see the placement and not just quickly bury it, because I may change my mind and I can pick it up and not waste a seed. Because sometimes you go to those tropical areas and you're trying to get the seeds, and you're cutting and sometimes you cut 5 and you're not getting no seeds. But once I decide that I like what I'm seeing, then I take the risk and I bury it. And sometimes I do change my mind. We'll see that at one moment I do change my mind and I cut one of the bushes. Don't get a seed back because they're kind of young. But I decide to do another tree on that way they kind of match, and I went that route. So I'm trying to decide. Here's when a lot of thinking starts happening. I know I'm getting close to this area where I'm gonna start working, and like I said, I had 2 ideas and I still haven't decided. Am I gonna go with the bee farm route, or am I gonna go with the brewing and using the kegs and all that route? And in my mind, I decided to go, okay, I'm gonna make a bee farm, because it's like, okay, well, it's gonna be close to the greenhouse, and the bees like flowers and pollination. So it's like, hey, I can make the bee farm. It will make like sense that way. Hey, the bees are close. It's for me. I do try to make things a little realistic in my builds, and like what makes sense and what's connecting to what. So we are here in the next day, and here pretty soon I make a big mistake. I believe is in this one. I forget and I forget to keep track of the dirt printer, and it breaks on me. And I was so disappointed. I just lost track. And at first I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to work on this and get another one. And here I'm thinking, I just started the day and I can go ahead and I just did a little bit. So I was like, you know what, don't go to sleep, just go back to the menu and restart the day. And that's a good way. If I would have done a whole day and of work and all that and it broke, I probably then would be down to 1 and slowly work my way back to 2, grinding material. But I was so close. And if that ever happened to you guys and it breaks on you, think about it. If what you have done, is it worth to keep, or if you're okay restarting the day so you can get whatever broke on you back, because they're expensive and they take a lot of material, they take a lot of money. And even though I was a little disappointed on myself, I realized that I was just started the day. So it worked out in my favor, and I was able just to restart the day and get my tool back, and I don't have to like redo it all over again. So right here I'm trying to find if I had the right seeds for the trees. I was able to find my lampposts that I have left over, because very soon we're gonna start working on the right side of the riverbank, and we're gonna start placing the light posts. We're gonna make the road. We're gonna start laying the foundation and breaking things apart. So, and of course, I think I have mentioned it on my previous video, I am going to be replacing slowly most of my main road with the cobblestone path, this one that we're putting down. So as you can see right there, you see the hardwood. And that's what I was using as my main path across all my island. But I am going to change that, and it's going to be all cobblestone. So that's something I'm going to be working on, and all that's going to match. But since we're building the new section, I went ahead and gonna be using the cobblestone. If I remember right on how many tiles apart, I believe is 12 apart every street light, and it gives you a good range of light, and it covers a big section. I like these lampposts a lot because they're elegant. They kind of look like more city-like. So, and for a lot of my street areas, that's what I like to use. So here we are, like I mentioned before, I am placing the seeds down so I can see it visually before bury it. That way I don't waste my seeds, I don't waste my resources. So the space that I'm leaving in between the seeds and is for, I'm gonna put my bench. I'm gonna put bench in between those areas. And once I saw that the placement was right and I can have in between them, I'm gonna have my benches. I went ahead and bury everything. It seems like you're backtracking, but you could really change your mind and don't like the sequence, or you were off by one in the sequence, and you can pick everything back up and replace it. And like I said, getting seeds are sometimes it's hard to get them. So if you don't want to waste them, just drop them down, put them in the place you want to. That way you can visualize it before you decide to bury them. So here we notice again that the dirt printer is finally charged. So we are slowly almost done filling this area up. And very important, always keep an eye on your battery level, because the battery runs out, it breaks, and then you know how much it costs. So always remember to keep tracks. You may get on a row and you're excited, you're getting close, but always keep an eye on your battery level. So here we are glancing some of the parts, and as I was glancing, I noticed that I don't have this part filled up. I still have plenty of battery, so I went ahead and filled this up so we can have more of this area completed, even though we're gonna work on the left side of the riverbank in a future build, because I don't know exactly what I want to place there just yet. But I still have battery, so hey, let's just go ahead and fill it up. So my fence of choice when it's to classify an area like it's a farm, I love the gumwood fence. I still have some left over. I have to make more. By the end of the video, you guys will notice that I still need to make more. So I'm gonna be getting materials off camera, and I'll be making more fence, so that way when we do part 2 of this build, we can complete the fence and all that. There's still some materials that I still need to keep gathering to make some of the other items that I want to make. But here I was trying to decide how am I gonna break up the farm, because at this point of my build I am thinking, okay, I'm gonna make the bee farm, and that was the idea that I had. So I'm gonna make the bee farm. That was my decision. But the more that I was trying to visualize it, and the more that I was trying to figure out the layout of the bee farm, the more I noticed that for me and the way I wanted the bee farm to look, and I like to use world picture reference. So, and I had some of those pictures. I noticed that it was not gonna fit the way that I wanted. So either I had to compromise and make it like only 2 rows deep and have the space that I want on the front with the pathing that I'm thinking that I want to make it, or I will have to push down the riverbank towards the left side by maybe 2 squares, and that was gonna take a lot of work. It was gonna be a lot of work because I will have to refill 2 rows, take out 2 rows, and it was gonna push it a lot. So as I'm trying to decide, and I'm like, okay, how can I make this work? How can I make this work? And this is why I'm not doing a lot, because I'm just counting spaces. I'm trying to decide. So by the end of the video, I decided, you know, I'm gonna change my mind. Instead of making the bee farm, we're gonna make the brewing area. And you know, in every area you need 10 yellow waterflower, and you also of the yellow you need 10 of the red. And I want to make a area for the jelly, so an area that you can store and have jelly, and then we can make kegs and put some lights and maybe some tables and chairs, and I think that's the route that I'm going to head. So and yeah, right here I wanted another concrete sidewalk. So I'm taking the 1 extra row out, and I'm gonna make it 2, and just 2 deep, and to have on a sidewalk. I usually like my paths to be 3 square wide. I just like the way it looks with 3 wide. But here where I face the same situation again, and that cut was, I went back to the front of the area of my island so I can craft more of the concrete tile because I ran out. But since I like my paths to be 3 wide, I either have to again rework my riverbank that I already put a lot of work into, or just compromise on right now and make it just 2 square wide. And I compromised. I went ahead and make it 2 square wide. And to me, 2 squares still, I would have preferred to be 3. And I could still change my mind and rework it off camera, still keep the same layout. Everything will still stay the same. It's just I may make it 3. But it is gonna be a lot of work. So right now we're putting some grass. I finished putting the sidewalk. I'm looking at it again from the angles just to see if I still like how everything is looking. If I can imagine now, since I'm gonna change my mind from a bee farm to the brew. And as I was looking from that far side, I noticed that now this section looks a little off compared with the other side. So we went ahead and we're putting concrete so we can match this side. And since I wanted to match, I'm gonna raise it 1 level here, of course 1 level over here, and eventually I'm gonna put again two flower pots on each of the corners. I didn't have any to put right now, so they're gonna stay empty. But yeah, I'm gonna put 2 flower pots on each of the corners. Here we're closing out the edge, so from far away it just looks like it's more completed. And pretty soon, this is how it's looking. So yeah, so this is part 1. So we'll be seeing you on part 2.